your role in the inception of UNEX program is truly remarkable, and we cannot wait to hear more about it. But before that, ma'am, I would request you to please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Thank you, Sagarika. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity
Okay,
to speak to you. I'm Rani Venugopal. I've been associated with Unnati as a volunteer for 10 years now. For a year when I started, I was associate one of the centers that we were running in Dickinson Road near Commercial Street. And after that, I got this opportunity to be with UNEXT. And I've been with UNEXT ever since. So 9 years in UNEXT. And I've seen it grow. In many ways, it's like my baby. Right?
yeah.
So
Yes, ma'am.
I feel good. I feel really good.
Thanks for sharing that, ma'am. So, ma'am, I have 3 questions for you. With your permission, I would like to begin.
Thank you so much. Yes, please.
Ma'am, could you please tell us about first few months of UNEX program and the activities that went into to design something which is going to be like out of Unnati for the first time?
Okay, good question. So, the first few months, I started, I think, after a couple of, programs were run in this UNEXT format, right? So we did the very first ever pilot program. We did it at this institute called Mahatma Gandhi Institute of Rural Energy and Development sometime in January 2016, I think, for a set of 34 students.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when this whole program, how to go about and all that was formed, although it was not well structured. And at that point in time, there was no idea if we would be able to, or if we would be doing such a program very frequently or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, just at that time, as we were kind of doing this, we also learned that a lot of students who were coming to the center at the HO, like a lot of students who were joining our courses in the Unnati centers were all graduates, postgraduates, MBAs, engineers,
Okay.
lot of people. And that is when we realized that, this is not required for a school dropout. Such a program that is not required for a school dropout or a 12th standard or 10th standard pass or failed student, but actually, everybody needs it. And that's how this whole concept of wanting to reach out to more people started. And of course, the best way to reach out was to go towards the students rather than bringing them into the centers. The numbers. You could reach to more audience by doing that. And there was no question in our mind that we would be doing this only for the final year students, because after graduation, many of them would be searching for jobs. So we wanted them to have the benefit of this program. And then so that's how it started. We did another pilot program at this college, RC College in Bangalore, Ram Narayan Chillaram's college. It's a commerce and management college, and it was a roaring success. And of course, to credit it to our master trainers also, because they're all a very experienced group of people. It was a huge success, huge.
Yeah.
I still remember the beaming faces of our, change makers, the master trainers.
Yeah.
Oh, we've done a good job.
Yeah.
So that's how it started. And then, once we had this confidence that we could do this, so the college did support us, right?
Yeah.
In giving us repeated, the batches. This was in 2000, the academy. And so we slowly started with that college, and then there was a word of mouth that was spread around. And then it was mostly word of mouth by the college authorities as well as the students who did it. Within the college, it was always the students, whereas between colleges, there was always a WhatsApp group where a group of they would. I don't know if it's a WhatsApp group. They had a group where they would chat about all these things. There was this name. There was, Unnati was going on.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So that did help. I still remember going to a college asking them for time and the students, and then principal really told us, you know what, I was wondering what this Unnati is all about.
Yes,
why
ma'am.
is, why is this college, I mean, why is this organization not to us? And it's going everywhere else around
Yeah.
us.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
there's a series of college which is there on that road. Like you have the Government Arts College, Government Science College, and then you have the Maharanis, and then you have RC College. All of them are very close in a
Yeah.
very, the vicinity of each other in
Mm-hmm.
Bangalore.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got this information. And then she said, I was waiting for you all to come to us. And then, that was the
That is
kind of
great.
thing. They
Yeah.
already had information about that. That was in the first year.
Yeah.
16, 17 itself, they had
Mm-hmm.
information about this program.
Mm-hmm.
So that is when we realized the power of the program, and we could
Yeah.
do we could work our Unnati magic, so as
Yeah.
to say,
Yeah.
across all these people
Mm-hmm.
and across students. And that's where we started. Second year, we did something like 600 students or so. Then we increased it to say 2,700, and so on, step by step. The 2 COVID years were a little bad. We went to 7,000 and then came back to 3,000, 3,000 each for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year we had a good run, 23,000, and this year has been fantastic for us.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
95,000 is amazing for us.
Mm-hmm.
95,000.
Indeed, ma'am. So, ma'am, could you please share some of your key experiences that influenced the designing and the implementation process of Unix program?
Yes. I am an engineer by profession, and I've had this unique experience of working with two sectors before I came into Unnati as a volunteer. So I started my career with the governmental organizations, defense sector. It was with the atomic energy.
Okay.
And then I took a long break from work. And then I started my second innings with the private sector. Right.
Okay.
So I was able to put the best practices of both in designing the program. So what we had a lot of challenges. So we had to the groundwork externally. We had to tap the colleges, the publicity that was required. We needed to have cooperation from colleges. All these things were there. So a blend of, so in a private, we go all about, publicity and try to convince customers. Those things came into my forte. I mean, it came into what use, I would say, right? And whereas the other aspect of it is where you have a proper structure, a framework, all those things were, the training that I received from my experience with the government. So I was able, I think in many ways, I'm very lucky to have experienced all three sectors, private sector, government sector, as well as NGO, right? So I wanted to put in all the practices that I had into this. And that is how, I was able to channelize whatever I could in bringing this program, right? So the optimization to get a better outcome, all that came typically from a private sector, I would say. So, and yeah, that's how it was.
So that's how we have the best of it now.
Yeah, we still have a long way to go because the problems are never the same. Of course, we are able to stand. That's the beauty of this program also. Like, we required that, our change makers are able to standardize this across, because it's because of, we wanted the same standard of delivery across the board.
Yeah.
Right? So that standardization requirement led to the design of our process document. We have a clear-cut process document where we have the entire process laid out. And it has learnings also. When I say process document, it was not one that we did the first year. But ever since, we've been upgrading it with all our experiences. Yeah. Right. And that has led to, the process document pretty much talks about a process, but also our experiences, where we make mistakes, where there are possibilities of making mistakes, where we get those things have already come in. And that has, the standardization has helped us, with scalability. So the beauty of our Unix program is, in one word, if you say, scalability. Because for a group of, 10 people, 20 people, 100 people. We have done it for a group of a lakh of students
Like,
also.
yeah.
So we've been able to implement it across. So, I mean, I wouldn't say group of 10, 20, a class of 10, 20 students.
Yes,
And then implemented multiples of that to extend it to, we've been able to train 1 lakh students. So that exactly is the beauty of this unit.
Yeah, true.
And we've been able to do it so far.
So, ma'am, could you please tell us how do you induct or welcome a member in your team?
Well, that's yeah. We do a lot of stuff to ensure that just after the BAC, of course, there's the training part and everything is taken care of by the BAC team. Show. And then we also realized that after the BAC, face-to-face time or a face-to-face meeting is very important for the HO team as well as our change makers. And that is when we decided that we need to have a meet and greet. So we have a formal meet and greet just after the BAC or even during the BAC, right? Where the entire team meets up with all these people. There are subgroups which they also, I mean, the change makers come to know when they meet these people, where who they need to speak to for what and all that, right? So they have a lot of hand holding so that that happens in the first instance of that meet and greet meeting. And then they also know who they should approach when they go back to their own places. Essentially, UNext is a program where the change makers, they work on their own, right? They're not actually working as a team. I mean, they're in the field. So they're handling it singly. They are phase of Unnati in the field. Whereas, of course, we have a backend which will continuously support them and help them with troubleshooting problems and everything else so that a smooth function happens. But that was very essential for us. And it's also, as we've moved forward, we have also we've also found that they need to constantly connect with us. Only then they're able to, that confidence is important, right? Because they're going solo all the time. And so we always have, we always tell them that the communication channel is open. You can call any of us in the HO. It need not be the person that you speak to. You have an assigned Spock who you always speak to. You don't have to speak to only that person. If you think you need a little more information or direction or help with anything at all, you can call any of us. So that's how we make them very comfortable and, also ensure that they also learn further how, because many of them are overwhelmed with the kind of information that is passed on during the first few, weeks, during the BAC and post BAC also. There's a lot of information that we pass for the UNext program. And they're all so totally overwhelmed. And when they decide that they have to start and work and do these things, that's when, they're kind of clueless at times. So we do have subgroups, functional subgroups. Some people will help them with finding colleges and the front lines, that's what we call them. They'll help them with identifying colleges where they can start the batches. They'll talk to the colleges. They'll support them with the documentation. And then there's another set of group who will help them with understanding the lessons, how they need to deliver. And then there's another set of groups who will follow up. We call them as lead change makers, who will follow up with them. They're all groups, subgroups. There are lead change maker subgroups where they follow up with them and speak to them about how to run the processes, finish the processes on time and things like that. And then there's also a group which provides them with the data required and they collect data information. So a lot of teams are there who will all support them with and ensure that we go out. We have to, there's no choice but to ensure that they are comfortable. Only then they will be able to deliver a good program.
Yes, sir. So, ma'am, lastly, if you have any anything that you would like to share or any parting words for our viewers, ma'am.
So I'm assuming our viewers are students and change makers.
Yes,
so all I have to say is the learning, both learning and opportunities go hand in hand. And learning is something that is lifelong, and a constant upskilling is something that will provide us always with better opportunities. So that's applicable to everybody, not just the students or the change makers. And there's no dearth of opportunities around us. That's it. So it's up to us to identify the opportunity and take it head on, right, when they present themselves. And the more the skills we acquire, the better prepared we are to make use of these opportunities.
True.
Well, that's my philosophy. I still continue to learn something or the other every day from a lot of people. It need not be necessarily, from higher up, but I may always try to keep my eyes and ears open and my mouth shut as much as possible. That's it.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for this lovely advice. And thank you so much for giving us your valuable time and sharing all your expertise with us today. And thank you, viewers, for connecting us and staying tuned with us. And for future and more interesting episodes, please stay connected and tuned.